Jeremy, you mentioned earlier that you felt that you were defined by the media and media stories, and how they were kind of boxing you in. What would you like to see in terms of stories in the media or online or in
I think as the society that we are in right now, we take so much enjoyment out of someone else's misery. We celebrate that, like we keep, perpetuating the horrific, video of, whether it's a kid getting their head jumped on in a classroom playground, or the Mount Druitt fights between the Pacific Island families, and like we become so addicted to that, and we keep watching that, and we watch it over and over and over again. And then you put out a positive story and it barely gets any views because, it doesn't cause the shock factor. When Four Corners aired that, the program around the abuse in Dondale, it was only because it was so shocking that all of a sudden people cared about it. More recently, I've been leading the consultation on the Prime Minister's report into reducing Indigenous incarceration, which I think that's an issue that we as Australians, if you want to talk about sort of collective thoughts and sharing some good, how do we, we are as Australia, Aboriginal people are 3% of the population of this country, yet we make up 42% of the total population incarcerated. In some prisons in Northern Territory and Western Australia, it's 95% of the population are Aboriginal people. I mean, this is a system, and people, we put that story out, and it's the heart of who we're trying to tell a story that we're in crisis right now, and we need help of not just the 3%, but we need the help of our country. And all of a sudden, it just perpetuates the negative again, And so I think that we just have to work harder at flooding the positive narrative, and just keep flooding it. And keep flooding it. And, so every time, something negative comes up, all the racial stuff, I just post a painting, one of my paintings. I won't engage, my grandmother said, don't argue with a fool, and so I simply don't engage in that space, sometimes, because sometimes people are just not people only hear and don't listen. And there's a very distinct difference, if there's a jackhammer or an alarm in this building, we hear it because it's an irritation. Whereas if you listen to something, you feel something. And, that's the difference. I think we have to be prepared to start to listen versus just hearing, so it's not just noise.